I just want to say this. This is the most heartbreaking and most ridiculous thing any creator could ever say. And I'm going to play this part of the video because this is just ridiculous. Now, at first, you might think I'm bashing this creator, but I want you to listen to what he says.
This is not, again, I understand my place in the market right now. I'm a very small channel. But being a small channel, just like being a Kia and a Hyundai and a Vizio and a TCL and a...
He's bashing himself for being a smaller creator, feeling that everything he said, I watched this entire video, by the way, gave him every minute of watch time, okay? And it's heartbreaking when someone can come out and have so many factual standpoints and then have to be like, listen, I know my place. I'm not big. You won't watch everything I put out because I'm a smaller creator. Like, screw all that. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to boost this in the community tab. This video, I'm going to respond and talk about it. And I encourage more people to start talking about this openly. Here is the current problem with our consumer market. Social media influencers and clout chasers have us believing like we don't have a voice anymore and we can't say anything. If we do, it'll just get buried in the flow of all the many positive reviews they put out. And it'll be like, putting a grain of sand out in the desert. And we need to be really shiny and stand out in that big, vast desert. But here's the reality. People like me exist, and I'll help where I can. I love small, independent, honest creators. I really do, right? And this was genuinely honest. The truth is, like, I don't have any problem with Caleb or any of the other AV YouTubers until they start being biased, and disgustingly so. And I saw that exact review that he is talking about the TCL and the Hisense and all of these reviews that they put out. And it gets to a point where I listen to how everyone dogs on the Hisense. And I noticed this didn't start until I start telling everybody, hey guys, look, like this TV is incredible for the money. Like it's 100% amazing. Try it. And more people start buying it, right? I think at the time I was the #1 Amazon review for that product. And then like the next couple of years after that. And nobody wanted to touch Hisense before I even talked about it because of this stigma attached to it. Like it's a cheap Chinese brand. Now, again, I'm not saying like nobody would touch it in the sense of like arrogance, thinking like I'm better than everybody or anything. It's just I was the one willing to trust the Chinese brand first. And the reason I say that is because it's like so many people have that mindset like, oh, they're just spying on you or it's all CCP. I get those comments all the time. I get how, I'm in their pocket or I'm just like Beijing quantum or like all these crazy comments because I'm reviewing a product, right? And it gets to the point where it's so infuriating because if people would stop being so biased, they would understand like this kind of content is so honest, right? Telling you that like they are like Kia, right? Like I don't know if you looked at the road lately, but Kia's stepped up their game. Their cars look amazing, right? And that new Genesis SUV, bro, go look at it, bro. Like it's incredible. I think it's like the V80 looking better than most cars that are luxury vehicles on the road right now. Like things like that. Like, but it's a value vehicle. And again, I hate when people assume that value or budget means cheap, shoddy, crappy. That's not what it means. It means you pay money and you're getting every ounce of value out of your dollar. And for somebody to come out and say that here, right? And then feel like I know my place. I don't have the ability to get in a lot of views or people aren't just going to watch what I say. It's heartbreaking because again, it stifles anyone's ability to say anything in the consumer market. Let me say it again. The consumer market. This is our market. Don't let Caleb, HDTV Test or anyone else fool you. Like this is our market. We run shit here, okay? If we say we want to buy a certain product because it's punchy and it's beautiful, like people do at Samsung, and that's why Samsung has like the #1 market share when we talk about QLED TVs, then, okay, that's what we want to see. These stick in the mud calibrators sit on old 30-year-old reference standards and tell you that those TVs are the only ones that can be accurate or hold any value. But that's also just not true because if you put the time into calibrating the other sets, they can get accurate as well. And there is no such thing. Let me just say this as somebody who is an actual professional who has calibrated thousands upon thousands of sets, okay? There is no such thing as one form of accuracy being more accurate than others. Once you reach reference accuracy, that's it. And that just means that you have a delta error of 3 or lower. That's science, bro. 3 or lower of a delta error in English means that there are no errors that are visibly perceptible to your human eye, right? But these calibrators get in their little feelings and they want to try to promote everything else as being more accurate when you can never see that level of accuracy they're talking about. Yeah, on paper, technically, maybe it's more accurate to a computer software that can see those variations, but you as a human being can't see it. And I swear to God, people, okay, no one I have ever calibrated for, except for professionals who need it for professional workflows, like printing and things like that, like printing photos and stuff like that. No one has ever been happy with a reference accurate Rec 709 calibration, ever. They say, what did you do to my picture? It's green. It doesn't look good. I liked vivid mode better. What is this? Nobody's happy with it because the truth is, just like you pointed out in this video, the market likes punchy, bright, beautiful colors that make you feel good. Nobody gives a shit that your computer software thinks that that looks accurate. Because if you look at it and it doesn't look a certain way and you expect I paid hundreds of dollars for it to look a certain way, for it to look that way, and it doesn't, then you're going to be upset. That is why I even started offering my calibration service on YouTube for $5. Because this greedy ass market of these old dogs that can't learn new tricks gaslight people. They say it can't be done without somebody paying hundreds of dollars. And they've dogged on my settings every step of the way, saying, oh, a real calibrator would charge way more. You're paying this guy $5. Yes, absolutely. You're paying me $5. And people love my results. Now, again, not to gas myself up. This is more so to point out that this is an amazing creator. Like, I really love what he's doing here. He's being honest. He's being transparent. He's giving his opinion based on actual ownership, long-term ownership of his Hisense. I think it was, he said, the H9G. Phenomenal TV, okay? Another slept-on TV. And I find that every time we talk about Hisense's TV, like the U8G, the H9G, the H9F, and now the U8H, everybody kind of drags their feet with telling you how amazing it is. That is why I did that open door brightness test showing you it's over 2000 nits. They constantly, not just now, back even when when I saw it for the very first time, right, with the H9F, over delivered with peak brightness. And they always do this. They always give us more than we pay for. That's where the value aspect comes in. Sony underdelivers. We go in expecting Sony to be inky with black levels, over 1000 nits. Those two things alone they haven't done in years. And the idea that now we need to start crapping on value brands, budget-friendly brands, and writing them off as cheap garbage simply because they're made in China is disgusting. And so, I mean, yeah, I feel like there is a hidden agenda against Hisense, kind of like he's saying. I really do, because it gets to the point where it's like, this pushing of brand loyalty is totally trash. And I'll just kind of break the fourth wall with you. I talk with my wife all the time about these things, and she was kind of saying more of the same. She's like, yeah, the only reason Digital Trends got that TV is to stop everybody from buying the TV that you're recommending, because they want that X95K to sell more. And I kind of agree with that, because if we look at the TV they said was the king of OLED, or the king of TVs, even though it really was a king of OLED shootout, because that's all they put in there. They also had the X95K there. So what does it look like when he stands up there and says, these are the TVs of the year, these are great TVs, and selects the X95K, doesn't give something like, let's say, the 75-inch Hisense U8H a chance to stand next to those OLEDs? I mean, it's biased for the sake of being biased, all these shootout events. And I'm so tired of these being the so-called experts, these people thinking they can make people feel like this guy. Who cares you have 3,000 subscribers? Your subscriber count means nothing. That does not change your value as a human being or what you are saying on this platform. And never let anyone tell you otherwise. Back when I had 2,000 subscribers, I was challenging Artings on their information and getting it right. And that is why I have the following I have today, because I'm honest about things. I'm transparent about things. Don't ever in a million years feel like you can't say something because you're not big enough on YouTube yet. That is the worst thing you could do to yourself. Don't ever let somebody put you down like that. Being a smaller creator is not a negative thing. We all start somewhere. And this is your start. This is your journey. This is your race. Don't let somebody else who so happens to be ahead of you dictate the pace of your race.